Miss Amber, no, I'm sorry. You put that puzzle together in like 2.3 seconds.
Yeah.
What you saying is easy?
Beauty and brains.
Wasn't that difficult?
It was it. So when you seen the puzzle, did your visual artistry come out?
I think it's that with a combination of just like logical strategy. Like, obviously I'm gonna start with the frame, all the flat pieces, build out the outside, and then I'm just gonna use color coordination to kind of like organize the other pieces, and that was like ultimately the strategy.
Let me give her a round of applause. You see where we going with it? It's a special guest. It's special times, Mother Emma. I'm so excited. She's into all type of things. This is the first probably interviewer that we had. I got to talk to before the interview, so like I feel like it's my friend now.
Period. Everyone who comes up here is family in the end.
For real, but this is like a prefab. Like, hey, cuz.
Definitely giving the vibe.
So Miss Ryan, how is that like when you're going around new clients and things like that, and going into the production industry? Like when you meet new people, is it like do you always come with that high spirit, or do you?
I mean, I think it's just about being authentic. Like at the end of the day, I really am not the type of person that can like keep up a facade. Like you're gonna see how I feel right in my face anyway. So like I feel like the best approach is to just be yourself, be authentic, and the people that like are gonna vibe with you, like you'll be able to feel that energy, and it'll be a good fit. So yeah, I think that's the most important thing, just being genuine.
Absolutely. And you are an HU girl, correct?
Yeah, so I went to Howard for 3 years.
Okay.
I was originally going to school to become an attorney.
Mm-hmm.
I was a political science major, and I was going to go to law school, but I ended up leaving Howard. And when I went back to college, I ended up transferring to Bowie State, and I switched majors, and I actually went into visual communications and digital media art, which is a little more aligned with what I actually do now.
Right.
So I ended up getting my bachelor's of science from Bowie State University. But I'm thoroughly a HBC girl.
Yeah. So everyone's always talking about the real HU and like the essence of Howard. So could you maybe put that into words for us and tell us how that has affected your creative journey?
Well, I think going to Howard in general gives you a lot of pride.
Yeah.
And I think that, being around a lot of intelligent Black young people from all over the country, and primarily a lot of Black women, because, when you go there, you realize like it's about 8 women to one, guy there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of women there. So it really puts things into perspective and, the standards that you should hold yourself. So I feel like, being an HU girl is all about like carrying yourself with a very high standard, keeping your head held high, and just really knowing your value. But also just going to a HBCU in general, like going to, Bowie State, I also have a lot of pride, from there, and just the community that I've gotten from, going to Bowie State, and having really close relationships with my teachers there and my professors and advisors. So yeah, I'm really proud to have, had some great experiences at the HBCUs I attended.
And what's visual communications for those who don't know? Because it's like, explain that part.
So visual communications is basically like how we express ourselves and communicate with each other in visual ways. So whether that be like filmmaking or fine art or photography or a combination of photography and photojournalism, like things like that. So basically just the ability to communicate people through any type of visual expression, essentially.
Is that content creation then?
It can be. I think, in the era and age of social media, I think it can absolutely be content creation. And I mean, nowadays, content creation can be a number of things. It can be advertising. It can just be a way that you're expressing yourself creatively and, putting out your personal images and things like that. But yeah, I would absolutely say it's visual communication as well.
When you said that you went from political science to your major at Bowie, what are some natural things that you already had that made you feel like that change was right for you?
So I've always been an artist. I've
Okay.
always, from a young age, I've always been into art, drawing, poetry, things like that. I just never really thought of it as the direction I was going to go in career-wise. And I've always, just done really well in school overall. Like, just always been just done really well academically. So I thought, going into law was something that I wanted to do. And I am very passionate about like civil rights and women's rights and things like that. And that's really what I wanted to do when I was going to go into law. But once I ended up leaving Howard and I had some like time to kind of figure things out, once I explored my options in terms of transferring to Bowie, and I kind of looked into the other programs that they had, I just decided that that was something that was like closer to my heart and more true to myself. And something that I knew I would really enjoy doing. So I just kind of like took a chance, and I actually kind of almost started over because I completely changed majors. But I actually was able to secure like some scholarships while I was there, and I actually worked in the department as like a student aide, and worked very closely with my advisor, and I really just immersed myself like in the change. And I finished and got my degree finally.
I really wish in high school, like when they prepare you for college and picking a major and what you want to do with the rest of your life, it's like they don't even ask you like about yourself. Like when you're at home by yourself, what do you think about? What do you do? What can you do with your eyes closed? That could help you prepare more for your life instead of thinking, oh, I need to figure out what's the highest paying career or something like that. Like that natural talent, nobody can give it to you and nobody can take it away, So that's awesome that you found that for yourself.
What's like going to the college and getting those? What do you think is the best thing that you learned from college, as far as even switching your major, going into something that you really wanted to go into, versus going into law? Like, what do you think? Like, dang, I really learned that from college, and I'm glad that I got that. Because resources is big too.
So I will say, personally, it's strange, but group projects, like being forced to do group projects in school, mainly because I realized that as much as like I really kind of hated doing group projects in school, and in college it was even harder because people have part-time jobs, they're working and they're going to class full-time, and like trying to just coordinate to try to do something together, it's really frustrating. But in my line of work, like, you need a team. Like, you can achieve more with a team. We're all working together to try to get the same goal, and like we're all gonna reap the benefits of, completing this project successfully. So in reality, like, I really learned the value of working with the team and group projects. Like, some of the people that I work with at Bowie, or had to do things with classmate wise, are still my friends to this day. And I had some really great professors at Bowie that actually gave us experiences outside of the classroom. I got to intern on an actual movie set before I graduated, and I actually put together an event outside of school with an entire class that I took. And the people that helped me lead the project, like, those are some of my best friends to this day. And we're trying to bring it back again.
Having relationships, especially from college, is even hard. Well, how do y'all deal with that? Because I know I saw like you said, like, y'all bid on each other. You were saying, like, y'all, you know what I'm saying, y'all comment on each other. But when is it the time where, like, you just don't want to talk to that person? It's like, like they just went over the board. They late, or they can't talk like me. I say, you don't know what might come out my mouth. And how do you get over that? You know what I mean? To stand with these people for so long. Like, me and my team been together for a long time too, and I didn't know mother. That's why we go back and forth. But how do you?
Okay, so I don't know. A lot of the people that I work with, we have a family relationship. So I can talk to them in a way where they know it's not coming from a malicious place. I think there's also an understood level of respect where we don't talk to each other or address each other in a certain way. And if we ever sense that we really offended somebody, we address it immediately. And, we just have that kind of relationship. And also we understand that, like, there's also somewhat of a separation when it comes to certain things like business and personal. Like, we may not all be able to work together on every single project on you know what I'm saying, on a business level, but that doesn't mean that we're not friends anymore or whatever. And I think that I'm lucky that I work with a lot of people who in general are pretty mature and can understand that, because that's a lot to do with it. Like, when it comes to business and when you're an entrepreneur, this is your livelihood. This is how you pay your bills. And so, you have to know, like, how to navigate these relationships with people that, you have those closer relationships with. Like, a lot of people I work with are my friends. But, and then my friends from college, like, we make an effort to spend time with each other outside of work and, things that we want to accomplish, so that we can just, like, enjoy each other in our time and, like, know that this is what we have more to look forward to once we, like, reach our goals together.
Where do you think your breakthrough or your moment came, like, on your journey? Because now you're booked and busy, you're on panels. I would consider you influencer status in the DMV media.
30 for 30 thing too, or something, right?
Yeah, I was on the 35 and the 35
you see?
list this year. I was shocked.
So, like, what was that like? I'm out here and people are starting to see that I'm out here.
Well, definitely it was nice to be recognized by my peers on the 35 on the 35 list, like, because I'm over 30 and I thought the list was over at 30. Yeah. So, like, I I've never been on a list, so I was just like, okay, this is cool. And I think that a lot of people have reached out to me since then and things like that. But it really just kind of makes me realize that, like, or kind of like reinforces the fact that what I do isn't really for, like, acknowledgement or recognition from anybody, but more so, like, to fulfill myself, because these are things I'm really passionate about. And like, all I can really do is kind of use the recognition to help, like, bring awareness to, like, my art and the people I work with, and just my ability to hopefully, like, impact people through my visual artwork.
We want the juice though, because I helped her out on that. My bad, Miss Amber Ryan. I helped her on that, and I said 30 for 30. You know what I'm saying? We want the juice. What's the time that you said I was successful? Because you like a scientist. I like to think of smart people as scientists.
Okay.
What's a project that came together for you besides the 30 for 30 that you accomplished and was your boom, and you said, you know what? It works.
Okay, so I guess when I first started producing, I didn't really know what I was doing. Someone had to tell me, like, what a film producer actually does, because I didn't have a clue. And one of the first artists I worked with was Raheem Devon, and we had to shoot 2 music videos in one weekend. And I was actually, like, in Pennsylvania shooting another project, and I came back because we had about a week before, or about maybe 5 days before the weekend started, to shoot this video. And typically for one production, you want at least 2 weeks of pre-production.
Yeah.
But we were shooting 2 videos, like, in one weekend. So 1 week, less than a week of time to plan for 2 separate days of production is, like, really intense.
Yeah.
And it was very difficult. Like, there was one day where I was on the phone for 12 hours. Like, literally, like, someone had to bring me food. I could not leave my laptop and my couch because I had to talk to so many people. I had to check in with every single department. We had so many things to figure out in such a short period of time. I literally was like, I can't believe this is my life. But the videos came out amazing. And one of the videos was Marvin Used to Say, and they actually covered that video in Rolling Stone and mentioned it in the video because it was a period piece, and the song was paying homage to to Marvin Gaye, and it was around his birthday. And that's when I was like, oh wow, I really, like, produced something with, like, a big artist from the area.
Drop her bomb,
we had no time. People were yelling at me.
Yes.
I don't think I cried, like, I was like, I did this shit.
Yes, period.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was a moment.
Has your creativity ever gotten in your way?
I'm not gonna say it's gotten in my way. I know there's times where I have creative blocks.
Okay.
And I'm kind of just, like, not really feeling too inspired. And I think sometimes that just comes from, like, being a little, like, burnt out from work, tired. I do a lot of projects and things for other people. So then after I've like, got through all this figuring out all this like stuff for other people, and someone's like, well, what should we do for this? It's like my brain is fried. Like I need some time to like reset before I can like come up with something fresh. Or just maybe like take a break and take some time for myself, so I can indulge in my own hobbies and like get re-inspired. But sometimes it's just a block, I would say.
When you just said that, you said get into your own hobbies, but you love producing because I can see the energy in you. What is your hobbies then? Like what's like the Amber Ryan Medias, or like
so hobby wise, I enjoy like painting. I really like going to museums and like art events, and like I'm really inspired by people and just like our ability to just be creative beyond imagination. Like I think that's just amazing. And then like putting together my own shoots. I started off like modeling and doing photography. So I like try to make time to creative direct my own personal photo shoots, and I might style the shoot too, because I have some background in like the beauty industry and things like that. But yeah, those are outside of like production and film work, like I just enjoy like beauty and just visual expression and taking that in.
So you like modeling?
I do like modeling. It's a form of visual expression as well.
Well, ain't that something? Because back when, if I can remember right, when I heard right from, when they told me right, your girlfriend Leah?
You know Leah?
No, I don't know Leah. You know Leah.
Yeah.
She put you on the modeling.
Oh, yeah, she did.
You ain't want to be a model.
No, I didn't. I hated taking pictures. I hated it so bad.
But now you love it.
Yeah, like.
Talk about the transformation from when Miss Leah said, come on and do it with me.
Yeah.
To now you like, I want to model.
Yeah, no, I have to give her all the credit really, because I hated taking pictures. I just didn't like any pictures that anybody took of me. And I feel I have like low self-esteem growing up. So like I just really just didn't enjoy being in front of the camera at all. And but my friend Leah has started modeling. She was learning like hair and stuff like that. So she was into doing photo shoots and doing hair for shoots, things like that. And she started modeling, and her pictures were coming out really good. She was developing like relationships with different photographers. And she was like, you should try it. And I was like, girl, no. I was like, she was like, no, really, like, I think just try it. And she basically set up my first photo shoot with the photographer she worked with, and, just stayed for the shoot and like just kind of like coached me through it and made sure I felt comfortable. And the pictures ended up coming out good. And at the time I had a, what was it called? Model Mayhem profile or something like that. Okay. And it was basically like before Instagram, and it was a network from models, photographers, makeup artists, like all these people to connect. And you posted like your portfolio and pictures on your profile. You would reach out to people and blah, blah, blah. Now, granted, there was probably a lot of creeps on there. Like there was like, yeah, definitely some creepers, and you had to be very smart back in the day. But yeah, like that's how I got started, and everything was a catalyst. Is that like one of your
pictures that you did?
Oh my gosh, y'all really dug in the archives. Did you know my Facebook got hacked recently? They deleted all my pictures. Did y'all find this before it got deleted? This is crazy. This is when I had a red afro.
Oh my God, but they're so cute.
Wow, yeah, you really took it back. Oh, you sneaky.
So I'm just don't put me with them sneaky people like you said, the creepy photographers. Hold on. I'm just doing my job.
You got more of these.
That's what we do here. So
I know you got more.
No, I'm just saying, this is a question. So
okay.
You love it now, and this is the picture now. So what's like, because you said you were insecure, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now obviously you're not. You want to take pictures.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody, because there are a lot of people going through insecurities that don't think they're beautiful, want to gain more weight, want to have more breasts, want to fix their teeth like me. You know what I mean? Everything. How can you tell somebody just to be yourself? If you look ugly like me, it's okay. I know I'm not right. But how can you help somebody with their insecurities?
Well, first you're not ugly. First you have to speak positively to yourself about yourself. You have to really like love yourself, appreciate yourself. We have to understand that like our body is not just our outward appearance. Our body takes care of us. It does so much for us. So at all times, no matter like, what your appearance looks like, you should always be in a state of gratitude for just having a healthy body and for all the things your body, does for you. But also, like, I think it just comes down to, appreciating yourself and Like if you're really somebody who wants to model, like just like anything else, it's not all about just like how you look and how you present yourself. Like it's something you have to work at. Find your angles. Get in the mirror.
Yeah.
Like look at magazines. Like figure out what poses work for you. Like every person has different ways of presenting themselves on camera, on film that are more flattering than other ways. Like
Yeah.
even the people that ideally look the most perfect. Like, you know what I'm saying? There are times when they look, might have an unflattering picture or don't
She's
feel
about
the
to say
best about
ugly.
them.
It's okay.
No, I'm just saying, like,
It's okay.
no matter,
I'm sorry.
how perfect a person may seem to you, like you don't know how they feel about themselves and how their inner self-esteem is. You know what I'm saying? And you may be looking, I wish I felt like that, while meanwhile they don't like how they feel about themselves, or they wish that they didn't change anything about them. You never know. I just think the main thing is just appreciating yourself in the moment and being present in that, and just knowing that our body is so much more than like our appearance at the end of the day.
What do you like? Sorry, mother. I know you about. But what do you like most now about your pictures? What's the best thing about your photography? As far as like when you see a picture, you like your eyes or your way you pose, or what's your favorite part about photography and taking pictures? On the model aspect of it.
On the model, I think it's just seeing myself like in a different, like just from a different lens. Like I feel like I like to change my look a lot. I change my hair a lot. Like if you go through my Instagram, I feel like I look like a million different people. Like I know that's all
I did
me.
see when I was like, is that her? I don't even want to find her.
They're all me. And I
Yeah.
think like that's the fun part about it, is just like maybe getting into a character, like a different version of yourself.
Yes.
And like expressing that, whether it be through like your movement and your posing or through the clothing. Like I really just enjoy fashion and beauty and being like creative with that. And like I said, getting into a character, because that's just one form of expression that I like. And a lot of things I like overlap. Like I'm into acting as well, and like, but at the same time, I'm the type of person where they're all some sort of version of me. Like I like to consider myself like a multifaceted. Some people think I got multiple personalities. It's really, I'm a multifaceted person. No.
Okay.
I'm a multifaceted person.
But do you have multiple personality? You can let us know tomorrow. You're gonna be somebody else, because you're real nice right now. When you go home and your family and your cousins and your aunties, if we go ask them, are they gonna say the same thing about you? Sure it is. It's two different things. But you do got a good personality, and everybody, like, when you go do your stuff on you, they always say, Miss Amber Ryan, she the boss now. She comes through, she running the set, she handling her stuff. But for a woman and in a man dominant industry, how do you keep your composure and still be a woman while handling your business? Because some men, when they see a woman bark at them, it's like, hold up. So how do you like?
I mean, I think at the end of the day, I treat everybody with respect. I don't think, there's not always time to be emotional and to like, I don't think I ever say things in a way that's disrespectful, but if you're offended by me being direct and straightforward when we have a job to do, that's more like a personal problem. I can't really worry about that while I'm doing my job. And if you want to discuss it, like we can talk about it like mature adults. If you know what I'm saying, feel offended, because I never want to offend anybody. But I've never really encountered that. I keep my sets very like fun, but we're still on business. We're gonna have a good time while we get this work done, while we knock this out the park essentially. And so everybody understands what the goal is, and everybody just knows, like I make it very clear, like I'm very serious, I'm about my business. I don't have time for anything outside of that, and I don't always have time to be emotional either. So like I'm not about to, I think, and that's the thing too, I think sometimes people expect you to react a certain way. Like, I don't have time to cry because you think that I should feel bad about whatever. Like, I understand what you're saying. Okay, like, let's keep it moving.
Now, sorry. I'm happy that Nino brought up the male versus female, right? So I feel like in the DMV culture, they always bring up crabs in a barrel, like when it comes to the guys and rappers and stuff like that. But I feel like on the flip side, with women, especially like in the media space and creative space, it's like some gatekeeping going on a lot. So, have you had any experience with that? And if so, how did you navigate that?
I think it's just a lot of male camaraderie. I think it's a lot of men get opportunities because like, oh, my homeboy's doing this and he's like, can come help out and blah blah blah. Whereas like men have to be intentional about bringing women into spaces where there's not a lot of women.
Yeah.
Especially like in film, you're gonna see women that are the talent, the models, the actresses, glam, hair, makeup, wardrobe. But when it comes to women who are in positions of power or leadership, there's less of us.
Yes.
Like I personally make an effort to try to bring in more women and include more women and hire women production assistants so they can have these opportunities, because I didn't even know that there was space for me until someone said, hey, do you want to do this?
Yeah.
And I think it's easy for there to already be a lot of men and then to bring more men in.
Yeah.
It's just because like the guys are already here.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
It's already comfortable
I don't,
for them.
and you know what I'm saying? I don't, and I think, again, it's something that has to be intentional for the guys. I don't necessarily think it's intentional gatekeeping, but I also think there has to be a certain level of respect. Like there are very talented women out there that are very good at what they do, and they may be the best fit for what you're doing and for your business or for this project, but you haven't considered that as an option.
Yeah.
And you have like, that's what needs to change, is like we need to look and see what women work in this space and how we can bring them in and what assets they can bring.
How does experience though come into that too? Because you said like you're bringing more people into it, but you have to have experience, you know what I mean? So are you finding a lot of women have experience like yourself, or like you said, somebody just gave me the opportunity? Is not that, or is it that y'all not given the opportunity to do it? Because you have to have experience to get jobs done.
Yeah, well, I in the time that I've worked in film, I've cultivated a community of women who have been proactive about like continuing to cultivate, whether we're working on the same projects or not, and trying to figure out how we can create our own spaces to do our own projects and bring more women in. But I like, anybody can be really a production assistant. So that's kind of where I start, because production assistants really just like have to follow directions and help out on set in general. And I think a lot of times women are always considered even for that position because like, oh, you got to move some equipment around. And I'm like, is it like over 100 pounds?
Yeah.
Because the women that I know that work in film and the film students that I've hired to be production assistants, they trying to carry everything by themselves.
Yes.
Like that, it's not a problem for them.
Right.
So, and it's also like, if I'm doing something that requires more of an administrative role for my production assistant, should I hire a woman out instead of a guy because I should assume they're better at that than them?
Yeah.
Like, come on.
So Miss Amber Rose, I'm gonna ask you a question on that. Cause you said, okay, come on, is it 100 pounds? But I'm just saying, should a man be carrying that versus a woman? And it's just manly things. Like some things.
I don't think you should apply for the job if you can't do the job. Like, I don't mean to cut you off, but it's like, if it says must be able to lift 50 pounds and you can't or don't want to lift it, like,
don't apply it.
Yeah, but like,
this is true.
But like, if you're a woman and you can do that, like, why should I say you can't?
Yeah.
And a lot of times on set, you're gonna see the guys help out anyway. Like, some of the guys are not even if that's their job, I'll have to be like, let them do it. Like, they can do it. It's not a problem, because I want them to make sure that they know, like, the job has to get done regardless. We might be the last people here. You might have to take the trash out.
Yeah.
But it's not a man or a woman's job. Like, we not at home. Yeah. Like, you can figure that out in your personal life. When we're at work, this is a job. As far as I know, it's people, male and females, who clean stuff, who move stuff around. They do all kinds of work. There's female security guards. No, like, you know what I'm saying? If you can't do the job, don't apply for the job. Let me know now. But you're going to have to do the job.
Yeah. So one question that we always ask our guests that are multi-talented, if you had to run off into the sunset with one of your lanes that you do, which one would you pick?
Probably producing.
Like film producing?
Film producing. Like, I feel like I'm at the point where I can say, like, I do a good job at that. That's the main thing that I do. Yeah, I
Period.
can produce some stuff.
I love
can
it.
definitely produce some stuff.
And going back to the women and they job thing, and I ain't make this any man and women, but I'm just saying, I'm gonna give you a little bit of credit because you said on the Wale video that you had to build a box or something.
Oh yeah, I had to build walls.
Yeah, you had to.
With no carpenter. I had some guys to help, but I was screwing flats to the backs and hammering stuff in, painting.
So had you ever used them tools before that day that you had
Yeah.
to use? Oh.
I had to build stuff in my house, furniture, had to paint the wall. I done all that.
Listen.
I mean, but the thing is, I'm building I never had to build walls before. I actually told them I did to get the job,
Oh,
and then I went and
wow.
went to YouTube and called some people, and I actually, I was, talking to the person I was working with. I was like, "You built walls yourself before?" It was another woman that I was working with, who was set design creative director. She was like, "Normally we have a carpenter." I was like, okay, because I thought I was a little bit crazy, but I was like, "I'm gonna be a carpenter today.
Yeah.
We all gonna be carpenters today." So they just sent, some guys, some manpower. They weren't carpenters either, but they sent some guys, some manpower to help. And we directed and all literally built the walls. That was
Working
in the
together.
video for 2 seconds at the end.
You still got your credit for building the
Oh,
wall.
yeah.
So,
Yes.
And you had the little ups and downs in between. Did anything like the wall lean when you was building?
Well, the thing
or,
was
or you put it
we
together
had
still?
the day before to build it and then start painting it. And then it took all day to build it and get it at late, just paint it in general. So I was like, all right, we're gonna have to go home and come back tomorrow and paint another layer. And they went to go check it out after we left, and they were like, what is this? This looks like shit. And I was like, yeah, we're gonna paint it again tomorrow.
Oh my God.
And I was like, and they were like, is it gonna be ready? I was like, yes. Yep, it is. And it was we got it painted, we got it done. But there was just that was the last thing that they were shooting. So there was a lot of creative ideas that were coming up. They were talking about putting flowers all over the wall, and we didn't have enough flowers to do that. So we started, but because they wanted to see what it might look like. And then they were like, this is terrible, take them all down. And we had to take all of them off. It was just, a lot of different, but that's how it is on set. You know what I'm saying? It's not just this is the plan, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a creativity thing. You know what I'm saying? You have a director, you have a vision. Things might change. We might feel like this is better and have to pivot to that. So you got to go with the punches. But at the end of the day, I faked it until I made it, and now I did it.
Yeah.
So I had to just take a chance.
So would you use one of those walls on one of your videos and your creative sets that you're doing now?
They didn't belong to me. We were out far away, almost near Delaware. And this guy's barn shed, tool shed thing, big thing.
So you ain't gonna use them, try to build it no more. Now you know how to do it though.
I don't have a space big enough to build extra walls right now and store all that, and nor do I I'm good on that. I'm really good on that. But yeah, they weren't my walls. We had to he had a bunch of walls from different sets, and some of them had cutouts. They had door cutouts and window cutouts. So we had to go through all of them and find the ones that didn't have cutouts, and then we had to put those together and then paint them. And they were very heavy, and they were just all stacked up, leaning against the wall. So we trying to. It was a lot. I'm good.
And what was the artist doing all this? Were they there or?
So we did a lot of this the day before, in terms of the wall building. The day of. I don't remember what time the artist came. I got there at the crack of dawn and left at 4 a.m.
Oh wow.
So, I just know that, Wale got there, and I had done it was a glamping thing because they were all going camping. So I had designed all the tents. I had put fur blankets in there and champagne buckets, and supposed to be fancy camping and whatnot. So after I had the walls, I started doing some other things that was a little bit more enjoyable. The grass was wet everywhere. I left tired and soggy, but I was set designer for Poke It Out. It was great. It was a great experience. The production company was awesome. I learned a lot. So
What's something you learned? Give us. Drop the beans.
Don't be afraid to like bet on yourself. Like even if you don't exactly know,
Yeah.
like I have enough confidence in myself to know whether or not like, okay, I know nothing about this. It's likely I might completely fail, but or like this is something I can figure this out. I may not know exactly how to do it right now, but I know enough to know where I can find the answers or who I can ask or where to get help. And that's, you know what I'm saying? That's sometimes you got to do.
Yeah.
Did your parents make you read when you were younger? Because you say you're very smart, you went to school and all that, but how is that? Because this ain't just come that. This was embedded into you. Every time I hear you say you're very smart, you say, I can put this together. So was you like forced to read and stuff like that? Or what was it growing up as a kid?
I wasn't forced. I've read.
You liked it?
I love reading books.
You were just
smart,
huh?
I read a lot of like fantasy books, but like because I like to read a lot in my spare time and in my own time, it made it easy for me to like read books in school, whatever was assigned.
Right.
Summer reading books, like it just wasn't a problem. So I've read like all the required reading books and all the Maya Angelou. I read all that stuff too. But I read like all the Harry Potter books, like the first 4 books. I probably read them at least like 5 times a piece. Like I would read each book leading up to the next book. I would reread all the books.
So what were your friends doing at the time, or your siblings and stuff like that when you're out reading, when you're doing that?
What were we doing? I have one sister,
Older or younger?
Younger sister, and I feel like she used to read books too. Probably not as intensely as me. But I feel like I had a very like regular wholesome childhood. We played a lot of video games, like Sega, Nintendo. Like my dad played a lot of video games. We watched a lot of movies. We played outside, like we played sports. We rode our bikes, like we built forts and like
I was gonna ask because I was gonna say like her does that reading, because you know sometimes she said now she want to be by herself. So I was gonna say maybe that came from you reading a lot. Now when you get all this stuff, like, all right, I read enough. Because you know after you read for a long time, like, all right, I read too much now. I'm gonna save this chapter.
You know, I really don't read that much no more, which is crazy.
I mean,
I don't.
You really
Scripts.
gotta make time.
You do. I do read scripts. I do have to read scripts, but they're not as long. You know, they're not as long as books. Like, and I will say too, like, I really do like. When it comes to books that I read for entertainment, I really like a specific type of book.
Yeah.
I'm just very picky, and it's hard for me to find books that I'm really like, dang, I'm glued to this thing. Because when I can read a book in a couple days.
Yeah.
Like, but it's just hard for me to find those books. And being in film now, I just tend to watch a lot more movies and TV, but I watch it very with more intent now.
Yeah.
I watch a lot more documentaries now.
Yeah.
And I pay more attention to how things are shot since I worked in film. So I almost watch more TV and films as a way to kind of like study too. But yeah, I don't even read as much no more. But I read so much growing up. Like,
Are you a fly girl or a coldest winter ever?
probably coldest winter ever.
Okay.
Well, you read books?
I'm crying.
I don't read
Yes.
that much. Not at all.
I do read books. And like she said, when you get a good book, you can fly
Yeah.
right through it. It don't even feel like I'm sitting down to read. It's like, oh my God, I have this story and I'm trying to figure out what's happening next.
I'm trying to find any moment, any excuse to read the book.
Would you write your own book?
Hmm.
I mean, because you do it. That's a
I
form of
would.
creativity.
I would.
I need 5% though if you, because now I gave you this
I was about
idea.
to
You know,
say.
you know about your, you know.
Was
your
this an
IP.
idea or a suggestion?
See, that's
We
that
have to-
lawyer
we have
coming
to
out.
Talk about that.
we
That's
need to
that lawyer
clarify.
coming out.
We need to clarify.
But yeah, no, I got some ideas for some stories. You know, I've seen some things that definitely have inspired me, you know, that I could. It's really just, do I have the time to write a book? Yeah, gotta figure that part out.
So I'm speaking of time, right? And remember you was just saying about what you do as far as the production side, and you want to be a model. Are you sure that you want to take on as much work as on the production side? Because you was in the Uzi Vert video, right?
I was in that video. I actually learned a lot, like production wise, from being a model in that video. That was like the biggest set I've ever been on, probably the biggest budget project I've ever been on, and just seeing like how it operated in the full crew and like I know it had to be a big budget because of how much I got paid. That was like the highest paid I've ever gotten for a video.
So you got paid what?
The first, I was in 2. The first video I got paid $500. The second video I got paid $900.
Okay, period.
So yeah, that was like, I was like, oh shit, like
I'm
this
getting
is a
paid
big,
to be a model?
this is a big budget project.
Yeah.
But and that's the misconception too. Like, you know, that's a huge artist. They had a huge budget. Most of the artists that are not on that level, they do not have budgets to pay that much, especially for the talent.
They're looking for
unfortunately.
volunteers.
They're, you know, or like it's can still be a great opportunity because the people you're gonna meet, what you can add to your portfolio, and the caliber of production and people that you're working with is definitely gonna speak to, you know, your skill or whatever. But yeah, like a lot of times, you know, it's just, you know, these artists are still trying to build up their career to the level where their label or they're signed to is going to give them enough money, or they've generated enough money themselves as an independent artist to really invest in quality production.
Yeah.
What is the quality production that you saw versus the lower budget movies that we are producing and people on?
For one, just like the space, like a huge studio space, like anything you can think of could be shot in there. I'm sure they've shot movies in there. It was like a compound. So that was like something I never experienced before. And then the size of the team, because typically when it comes to film production, there is somebody to do each individual job. So the bigger budget you have, the more you can hire, the more people you can hire, and the more those people can specifically be focused on one thing. So there was like a huge team, you know, wardrobe, several makeup artists, hair, every single detail was accounted for. There was nothing that wasn't like, and then, you know, we went through the process of like, we're going to try this, we're going to try that. The time and effort and intention that it took, it wasn't something that was like, we about to rush through this. It was like, you know, you're going to be there all day. You don't make no plans. Like,
so it wasn't at like various locations and stuff like that. They just shot everything right there. And
well, for the particular videos I was in, they were all shot in one location, but the second one, it was such a big space with like, it had multiple locations like within the compound. So they shot in different spaces within this whole area. And then we were like, majority of the people that were there for talent were used for one main scene. So the second video, we literally were in holding for 13 hours before we shot anything.
What do you mean? Like, when you say holding, that means like you eating candy snacks? And
yeah, basically we had 3 meals for the whole day before we shot anything. We got there, you know, they were getting things organized and trying to get an idea of the schedule. We got breakfast or some sort of like meal. Then people started going into makeup, hair. We got that done. Then we had lunch. And then we're still waiting. Like, I brought my laptop, luckily. I got a lot done that day. But if I didn't, I would have been blown because, like, and I, you know, there could have been changes that happened that they were like, you're going to have to do this first, you have to shoot this first, whatever. In one of the videos, there was a stunt double. So they were trying to shoot a bunch of that stuff first, or certain stuff had to be shot before it got dark. And there was limited time for that. But yeah, we were literally just waiting, like, to shoot. Like, we didn't shoot nothing until 1 a.m. and we got there at noon. So like, yeah, we were in holding.
How do you like deal with people on the management side now of that? Because that's the model side now.
Yeah.
But on the management side, and now you saw that as a production, how did you see that they were able to deal with that and get people in the right locations? What did you learn from that situation?
So I will say, back then, I like definitely didn't really understand everything that went into production. I hadn't really gotten to producing yet. And one of those projects, I had like an issue with the transportation, and I sent an email complaining, and I like realized after the fact, like, that probably wasn't the best course of action, because number one, relationships are everything. And like, even if you know, unless, you know, something happens that's like, you know, like you really need to, of course, like speak up, advocate for yourself, or something happened to you, you know, definitely say something. But like, a lot of times stuff in production is not even in like certain people's control. Right. Like, they just trying to do the best that they can. And like, you will get a lot further with sugar than you will salt and shit, and just, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it's okay to like, you know, definitely advocate for yourself. But when you are, the easier you are to work with and the more flexible and adaptable you are to the situation, the more people will want to like work with you, and they'll try to like, you know, make sure that the next time this is better. And or like, you know what, like if you came out for free, like I'm gonna try to make sure the next gig we get you paid, we get you at least gas money, something. You know, because you really, like, it's just a testament to like your professionalism and your ability to like, you know, production is always changing, it's challenging. A lot of people do not understand what it's like for us and how we work and how stressful it can be and how expensive it is, and like any stuff can cost money. So we just really trying to figure stuff out so like we can get it done. And you know, it's not always easy to understand when you're on the outside looking in, but I had to learn like be nice to everyone, because like they are probably just trying their freaking best. Like even if they might be being instructed to do something that make no sense. Like, and they may look like an idiot to you, but really like they're just trying to do their job.
Right.
Absolutely.
What because I was gonna my bad. So I be having so much going on in my brain. My bad. So what did she just say? She said something.
I said absolutely.
No, not you. We were just talking about you said absolutely or something.
Being nice to everybody.
Oh my gosh, I just went to Dante Bailey.
Oh yeah, Dante.
Let's talk about him for a second.
Okay.
Who is he, and how did he help you into what you're doing?
Yes, I went to high school with Dante.
You shout him out a lot. You said you
I
gotta
always
give him a shout out.
always shout out Dante because you know, he introduced me to the production family that I work with. They're my biggest client. I produce pretty much all like the content.
The Cool Kids?
Yes.
He
Cool
introduced
Kids.
you to them. Shout out to the Cool Kids
Yes.
too. What up though?
Yeah, shout out to Cool Kids forever. Dante started off working with Cool Kids. He was doing film production, and Dante's always done film production since like high school. Like I had to figure it out and like find out about it, but he was always into it. And he hit me up randomly late at night one night, and I was like, why is Dante calling me? Like, we cool, but we not that cool. And he texted me, was like, sorry, I know it's weird, I'm hitting you up late, but I want to know if you want to like be in this video tomorrow, blah blah blah. And I was modeling at the time, but I was doing a lot of print modeling, photo shoots. And he was like, yeah, we're shooting this Wale video tomorrow, do you want to be a part of it? And I was like, what am I doing tomorrow? Nothing really. So like I rearranged my schedule, and I came. It wasn't paid or anything like that, and it was all day, but it was like real chill, like, cause I didn't really know what to expect. I asked him like, what do we gotta do? I ain't dancing. I'm not like, what's going on here?
You might got a rap.
You know what I'm saying? I could do that, but like, I don't got no rhythm. I don't got no rhythm to be dancing no video. So like, if that's what you need, I can't do it. But you know, he was like, nah, it's like, it's gonna be a chill, blah blah blah. And from there, like, I just connected with everybody on set. Everybody was vibing, and they reached out to me again, like, hey, we, you know, want to work with you again. We got another video for Lambo and Low, and we'll pay you $100. And I did that video, and that was fun. That was a super fun video.
Shout out Anlo.
That video ended up on World Star. People was calling me like, you on World Star? I was like, I guess I am, but it wasn't for nothing crazy. It was for the video. And after that, you know, they were like asking me to help them with cast and find other models, campus with wardrobe, and blah, blah, blah. I did all that. And they were like, so which one of these things do you really do? And I was like, I don't know, I do all of them. Like, whatever you need me to do, I can do it. And they were like, well, we really need a producer. I didn't know what that was. I didn't know what a film producer really entailed. And they were like, well, we'll teach you. We'll kind of bring you under our wing. It was more like a crash course. But I learned a lot. I had a lot of experience. And that just was like the start of my film production career, like working behind the scenes and transitioning from modeling and being in front of the camera to behind the camera. But Wale and Lambo and Low, shout out to them for those videos and the whole Cool Kids production team.
It sounded like that was like one of your funnest moments in part of your career.
Those videos were very fun. The Wale video, we were like in our pajamas all day, and we were supposed to be pretending like we were just having a girls' day sleepover thing, and it was just about like being a beautiful black woman. And so like the vibes was just like on point. Like the vibes on point. And that video, Dante actually had this sweater that said like love, protect, respect Black women from this brand called HBCU Apparel, and they ended up reaching out to me to be a brand ambassador and used a bunch of pictures I took for them on the Shade Room, and like all this stuff like happened after that, which was cool. And then Lambo video was just like fun. We were supposed to be working at Lucky's in like Capitol Heights, like working at, you know what I'm saying? And then like we like left cut work early to go to like Lambo's family cookout. And then the day was so funny because we were like riding in one of like our guy on crew's car, and it was like hot outside. I don't think his air conditioning worked. He had like the regular roll down seats, and like one of his doors didn't have a handle. And in the video I had to climb through the window. And like we had to fake like get changed in the car on the way to the cookout, and then he actually had a cookout at his house. So that's where it ended. And we were just like, it was just like having fun the whole time. It was like hanging out with my friends the whole day. Yeah. So it was a really fun video.
You say that was one of the stepping stones of your career though? Yeah,
because that video, like, you know, World Star definitely at the time was like a huge platform, and everybody, you know, was trying to get videos on World Star, you know. So when people was hitting me up like, you on World Star, I was like,
I'm famous now. I'm famous now.
And then they were like, you're in this video. I was like, oh yeah, right, video. So I was like, oh, that's tight. But yeah, people just kept hitting me up like, you're on World Star. And I was like, I'm on World Star. We Lambo. So it was cool.
What you got? What's something you got planned up? What's something you got in the bag? Because I seen you with the Broccoli Fest. You doing all types of stuff at the DMV. You was at. You had the stuff on the radar. Was down here. Everywhere I go, I see Amber Ryan. Everybody's telling me Amber Ryan. She's the producer. She's the model. Where does Amber Ryan want to go? What you got planned? What you got in the bag? Let us know.
Well, I'm starting my own podcast. I'm not going to talk too much about it, but it's going to be more of a lifestyle podcast. You know, a little bit about work and what I do, but also kind of just about like, you know, how I balance like work life. Also going to be producing a podcast for cool kids. We're going to try to like provide some more like education about film and platforms for other filmmakers and creatives, the artists we work with. But outside of that, you know, definitely more film projects, music videos. I work with Broccoli City every year. I work with Roost Picnic the past couple years, so I'm just waiting for them to hit me up and let me know what the plan is for that. And then also, DMV Summer Jam is coming up, so I'm gonna be working with them this year. I think that's gonna be like super dope. Last year, it went really well. And I wanted to work with DMV Summer Jam last year, but I actually was sick with COVID.
Oh, God.
You had Did you get that test before she came in here, producers?
So yeah, like it was just really random, but I couldn't make it out last year. I was blown. So this year, you know, I connected with the people that, you know, created it, and we've already worked on a couple projects together. So I'm definitely gonna, you know, work with them, and I think that's gonna be a dope event. So I'm looking forward to doing and producing some more events as well.
This summer, I think it's gonna be really different for the DMV. I feel like it's a lot of new things cooking up in the city, and people just have a different drive and motivation after being out of the mix for those 3 years. So this summer, it's giving Summer 16 vibes.
Yeah. And I'm ready for that.
And I got my new cuz, you know what I'm saying? Because we didn't met before that. So when we hear about it, don't forget about Hustle 5 Way. Like, you know what? We need to, because we know you, because you is the producer. Don't forget about us in them emails. Send us a forward. You know what I mean? Just, hey, guys, we're doing this. We don't mind. We don't mind, Amber. If you want us to come join you, just, you got to shoot us an email.
I will. I will, absolutely. No, I really appreciate you guys having me here tonight. This has been such a great conversation with both of you all.
I can keep going with her and on 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 and on. But, you know, I wasn't done because she said I did have something in the bag. Before you get out of here, I want to know, you had Anlo's video. And I just want to know, do you remember this? Do you remember doing this video here?
That was the first video I ever did. You got archives. You got windows popping up on the screen.
You remember that video?
Yes, what Obi say. Dante shot this.
Oh my God.
Yo, wow. This is like my music video debut, first ever, with the afro. Wow.
Not throwing paper in your bush.
Didn't even feel it. Bounced right off.
Hey, look,
Bounced right off.
Miss Amber Rose, let them know what's your IG. How did they find you?
You keep calling me
her
Amber Rose.
I mean,
Just so y'all know, it's Amber Rayne.
Amber Rayne.
But
Amber Rayne. Hey, I'm sorry. So you know, I am half retarded.
Don't.
And you know, y'all should have been correcting me a long time ago, Amber Ryan.
It's okay. It's okay.
Now I gotta go back.
Amber Rayne.
Rain.
Like-
Rain, Amber
You can't
Rain.
stop the rain. You can't stop the
Don't
I
kill us,
can't
though.
believe y'all
Don't
let
kill
me
us,
go
though.
all this time and saying the wrong name though. And you
No, you don't. You said it. You said it.
You said it right like 3 times.
Amber Rain. Ryan. Where I get Ryan? I can't.
Because it
you know
does
why?
look like a Ryan.
I can't spell.
It's okay.
I didn't read that many
I
books.
know what you meant.
We need more people like you. Yes, you remember what you said too, and that's how the project gets done. It don't matter. We got the job done.
We got the job done.
And you know,
Period.
Mother Chocolate, she had some COVID too, and you all talking about COVID, so here goes
All right,
the
bruh.
producer, bro, my mighty Lysol out here. We gonna stick together. Summertime's coming up. Miss Amber Rain.
Yes.
Let them know how to
Follow
spell
me on IG, the Amber Rayne, RAYNE. Okay, and yeah, check me out there, Amber Rayne Media. Everything linked in my bio though.
Period.
Like if you anything you need, just go to my IG. It's all there in the bio.
Yes.
That's it, and that's all. Hey, that ice cream thing that you did you create that?
So I was a food stylist for that, so I'm real hype about this, okay? Because I love doing anything with food. And my guy Magnif, who has his company AIM Society, we were doing a commercial, and the commercial was for this product that had different flavors. So we were like, we're gonna incorporate food into the commercials. I'm posting. I got 2 more I'm gonna post. But we had a gelato flavor one, so we had the ice cream, and we was making like smoke come out the ice cream. We had one Girl Scout cookies. I was like crumbling cookies around outside the camera and stuff. And then we had like a strawberry lemonade one, and we were doing all this stuff with all of these fruits and limes and It was crazy. We spent a whole day playing with food, and when I tell you, it was amazing. It was amazing. But we had to get really creative, because trying to like make it like we was like literally in there. I feel like we were being like scientists. We were literally like experimenting and like, let's see if we can prop this up and stick this in here and do this and that. But I love stuff like that. Like we were forced to like figure it out.
Period.
Yeah. So if you need a food shoot, food commercial, food photo shoot, I produce all of that. And you know what I'm saying?
What about cocktails?
We can do cocktails too.
Because I need content for my mobile bartending service.
Okay.
So it's giving collaboration.
Let's go. How do bosses stay together like that, and how do we link up? Because y'all do got y'all own thing going on, and the DMV doesn't link up. So how do more of us link up and do things together without they say crabs in the barrel hating on each other before you go?
I mean, find a common ground. Like, don't be afraid to like barter, trade services. Like, everything doesn't have to be monetary. Like, figure out what the mutual benefit is. And you know, and it's also okay to say too, like, well, right now I'm not able to like, I don't this might not be the most mutually beneficial, but once I get to this point, I'm gonna reach back out so we can do something. Like, just don't just like, you know, just be unprofessional and don't say nothing. Like, just be, you know, transparent and figure out like, this is what I need, this is what I can offer. Like, how can we make this work? What you got?
Yeah.
You know.
That's it. Q Hill, anything?
Man, I'm just happy that we doing this on Women's Month.
Yes.
Like, this
That
is
is
dope, highlighting the female and all the greatness that she put together and just manifested. Because this seems like a lot of manifesting going on over here. So that's what I felt.
I like that.
Great point.
I'm appreciative to be in the presence. You know what I'm saying?
Mother, anything before we go?
I just want to give you your flowers. You know, I've been following you for some time. I've seen you at Made in the DMV when you were on the panel there, and I was really impressed. And you know, I'm a girl's girl. So Mother Chocolate is a fan. Keep pushing, keep going, keep sharing your journey, because there's plenty of people watching you, and you really do serve as an inspiration. So I'm rooting for Amber.
Thank you so much.
Rain. Rayne. Don't say her name wrong, mother child.
Amber Rayne.
You've been saying her name wrong the whole interview.
You can just call me Amber too. That's cool.
Amber,
Exactly.
Miss Amber, anything you got to tell the people?
My mom made up the name Rayne. That's not my real middle name. My name is Amber though.
Okay.
But yeah, I love you guys. Shout out to the whole DMV. And yeah, thank you guys so much for having me. This has been amazing. Love you all.
Hey, yo, we got to get out. And look, she said she liked the bottle. Hey, Amber, I don't got nothing. I'm telling you off the top. We got to work. I got to get out of here. Thank you.